You have a missive for me from Forge Master Hananza. I assume it pertains to the pending arrival of the materials I ordered over a moon past. Let's see it then. Blast and botheration. Another delay. I'm well aware of the shortage of skilled artisans, but this is insufferable. My apologies. The messenger does not deserve to bear the brunt of my frustration. Might I have your name? Well, this proud maiden you see taking shape before you is the Victory, and the first new vessel to grace the dock since the Calamity. We may have lost the bulk of our ships that fateful day, but starting with this beauty, we will restore the Maelstrom's fleet to its former glory. The Victory is more than a simple warship. It's a symbol of Limsa Lominsa's rebirth from the wreckage wrought by the coming of the 7th Umbral Era. Thus we are striving to complete her construction as swiftly as possible, even going so far as to hire veteran shipwrights from outside the thalassocracy. Yet even with such unprecedented measures, there's never enough hands to handle the abundance of tasks. Should you choose to linger at the docks for a time, there's no end of odd jobs for a hard-working adventurer. Be you fair warned, there is no place here for layabouts and troublemakers. Where in the 7 hells is that man? Not once in 12 moons has he been late with a shipment, and now 2 whole turns of the sun without a single word. A shipwright of mine, a young man named Farilsmid, recently left Candlekeep Quay to retrieve several crates of supplies ordered from Limsa Lominsa, but has yet to return. I've sent several missives to Hal Broder, but his replies are always the same. He does not recall ever seeing the right, nor the supplies he was scheduled to collect. That man knows something, and I severely doubt he's telling me the whole truth. As I cannot leave my post, I would ask you to travel to Candlekeep Quay in my stead and inform Hal Broder that if he insists on playing these games, I will personally see that he is transferred to Turtleback Island, where he can rot alone in the middle of the sea for all eternity. Does that self-righteous dog Arthbrum doubt that I've never told him anything less than the truth? Turtleback Island? He cannot do that, can he? I swear on my poor Nana's grave, Navigator rest her soul, I know naught of this Farilsmid, nor his precious supplies. Hells, we here at the quay have had enough trouble these past few suns, what with the sinking of that Lominsan cargo ship off the Salt Strand. I haven't the time to take a proper piss, let alone take note of every scrag that wanders in off the grip. Now, the way I see it, if you've time to be standing here questioning my character, then you most certainly have the time to get that arse of yours down to the Salt Strand and help us search for survivors of the wreck. Who knows, you may just run across this Farilsmid everyone seems so eager to find. Here's to hoping the Navigator hasn't found him first. I am Farilsmid. You say the foreman's wandering on my whereabouts. I thought he might be, but you must know I cannot show my face at the dry docks until I've righted the terrible wrong I caused. 2 nights passed. I made the trip from the dry docks to Candlekeep Quay, just as the foreman asked. The seas were right rough, and the captain of the cargo ship was wary of bringing her too close to the cliffs, so I paid a few coins to the fisher to take me out to meet her. By the time we was halfway twixt shore and ship, the swells had risen to nigh on 10 yards, and 'twasn't long before the waves had a hold of us. Try as we might to steady the boat, nature's grip was too tight, and we was flung headlong into the Lominsan galley. When I awoke, both ships were gone, and the cargo I was to collect lay strewn across the Salt Strand. I's made every effort to salvage it, but the sands are crawling with key-kern, and I ain't one with a sword, and now you see why it is I cannot return to the dry docks. That night I was tossed into the sea like some dole of rags, and it weren't long afore the world round me faded to black as I slipped deeper into the abyss. But lo, the Navigator wouldn't let me see the gates of the 7 hells, and I woke to find myself washed ashore, and here I's been ever since, waiting for a chance to salvage me master's cargo. The missing parts. I don't know how to repay you. I'll deliver the supplies right away, but first I must stop by the quay so that I might pay my respects to the widow of the brave fisher who gave his life for a handful of coin. Could you tell Artburn that I'll be back at the dry docks by daybreak? Many thanks, adventurer. I'll not forget this kindness. I'm relieved to hear that both Frailsmid and the supplies were unharmed, though it's foolish for him to believe that I'd blame him for that which was obviously out of his hands. You see, there was no storm that day, and the seas here adjacent the dry docks were as calm as a slumbering child. This leads me to believe that the trouble the ships encountered off Candlekeep Quay were less of a natural sort, the sort the Sahagin seemed to conjure. While I originally had doubts about your motives, you've repeatedly proven yourself an asset to Null Deacon Vermelis. I still do not like you, but that does not mean I do not trust you. Gimthota, head of the watch here at the dry docks, believes that pirates may be plotting an attack on the Victory, and she requires assistance investigating a group of unsavoury individuals making camp nearby. I've recommended you for the task. Despite all Limsa Laminsa endured before, during and following the calamity, the fact that there are still those who would turn their backs on the city-state so that they might line their pockets with a few handfuls of coin, just the thought of it sickens me. Ah yes, I had a feeling you'd be the one that Artburn sent. Since you first arrived at the Morrowby dry docks, I've had my men watch you. Oh, there's no need to get angry. I make it a point to keep an eye on all those new to the area. It's simply protocol. And you'd be pleased to know that nothing incriminating was found. You appear to be a model citizen. That and the foreman seems to think somewhat highly of you, which I must admit is quite shocking. The man doesn't even trust his own mother. Very well then, I assume Artburn informed you of what your task would entail. The pirates we believe are conspiring to raid the dry docks were last seen making camp near an ancient stone called the Mark of the Spinner. I'd have you approach the men posing as a lost adventurer and see if you cannot somehow learn of their intentions. Nango, stationed at the rear gates, can provide you with the exact location of the camp. Ha, I knew it! No more sardines for Nango. Tonight I shall dine on the finest salmon on the peninsula. Why? Well, I had a little wager going with some of the other guards on who Artburn would recommend for the next job. My money was on you. Ah, the job. Yes, of course. If you follow the road past the gates to the southeast, you'll eventually come to a barren cape with a single large stone half buried in the cliff, overlooking the sea. Followers of the 12 say it's a holy place dedicated to Nemea, the spinner. I'd be surprised if the pirates camped up there were aware of that, though. I'm giving you the count of 9 to step back on that path and carry your venturing ass back down to whatever rock it is you crawled out from. You see, I's had it up to me ears with your type roaming in the hills like they was yours to roam. It's getting to be that a man can't enjoy a mug of rum without some shite-breathing outlander running up and asking which is the way to the local lev, mate. 7 L's if I know. I'm a bloody pirate, godsdammit. Tholes balls. Once we have me boy back, I'm putting this god's-forsaken pisshole of an island so far behind me, ain't no one'll remember I was ever here. Come on, Scrags, we've knives to sharpen. So the trespassers are indeed pirates, and they're indeed planning something. But what is this talk of getting me boy back? Could it be that their target never was the Victory? Something is not right, and I won't sit by idly waiting for those pirates to make the first move. I shall order increased patrols immediately. Thank you again for your help. It appears we were wise to put our trust in you. I'm concerned. It appears that the pirates I had you investigate are on the move. They creep ever closer to the dry docks, so I must assume that they mean to target the Victory herself. That ship is the symbol of everything that Limsa Laminsa strives to become, and I will not allow these base scoundrels to lay a single finger on her hull. We must apprehend them before they put their plans into motion, and you are the woman to do it. Without your capable assistance, I fear the security of the dry docks cannot be guaranteed. Not moments ago, my guards submitted reports of suspicious activity in the area. It matters not whom you choose to speak with, but be sure to question either first at the front gate or Nango at the rear. Any suspect saboteurs you encounter during the course of your investigation are to be interrogated. Report any and all findings directly to me. Hail, adventurer, glad to have another hand aboard to help shore up security. The gods know our reports would sit on Gimthota's desk gathering dust if it weren't for the assistance of those such as yourself. Speaking of reports though, I saw one of those mangy pirates lurking around the cliff near Empty Heart. I'd take a closer look before he has chance to cover his tracks. Bah, spotted me did you? Well, you're too late. What's to happen is already happening. So you found me one of those pirates, did you? I knew you were the right adventurer to ask for aid. But what could these knaves be planning? What's to happen is already happening. Captain, trouble at the shipyard. Easy now, soldier. Who did this to you? Pirates, out of nowhere. Struck me good. Gods below, we're not prepared for this. The pirate soldier, how many do they number? Not sure. More than I can quickly count. Seem to be carrying explosives. Explosive? Then there's no time to lose. You heard the situation. Make your way to the shipyard and engage those intruders. I'll see to this man's wounds, then follow after. Make haste now. Yahaha! Never reckoned it would be this easy. Still don't trust those slimy bastards, but their plan worked like a charm. What are you doing, you great bloody fool? Shut your trap, boy. This'll all be over soon. All that's left now is to blow this ugly pile of driftwood into splinters. Why would you do such a thing? Have you any idea how important this ship is, what it represents? Aye, and that's what will make it all the sweeter, whatever it takes to knock some sense into my treacherous backstabbing son. Imagine a boy of mine giving up the pirate life to become a shipwright and building a bleeding maelstrom vessel at that. What under Limmerlane's wide green ocean made you take up with those self-righteous shites? You're the one with no bloody sense, Dar, don't you see? The pirates had their glory days, but that era is over. Ah, I wondered why Artburn never spoke his father. I never would have thought. This ship's a symbol, all right, of everything that went wrong with the world, and I mean to shatter it into 100,000 pieces. Gimthota, pray beat the tar out of this bloated sea slug, and make sure no harm comes to the Victory. I must be getting old, letting some green venturer get the best of me. Dar. That's one big bloody ship, big and nasty looking. You made that, did you? My thanks. I shudder to think what may have become of the Victory without your intervention. The pirates have made a right mess of things. I'd best get to sorting out the docks, and my thoughts could use some sorting out as well. Ever did my father have a way of turning my life upside down? Pray convey my thanks, and my apologies to Gimthota. How fare you? I cannot begin to thank you for the role you played in preventing this madness. You defended more than a simple ship. You saved the budding hope of Limsa from a violent demise. The day was yours. It seems our security regimen will require much in the way of improvement if we're truly to keep the dry docks safe. Artburn apologises. Well, I suppose I can understand why he would feel responsible for his father's actions. Of all those involved, this incident was hardest on him. But in time, I believe he will come to a single conclusion. The most fitting way of moving past his anguish is to see the Victory completed and in the water. Ah, by the by, the pirates we defeated have been handed over to the Yellow Jackets. Rayner's men will be taking over the investigation. Before the Yellow Jackets moved in, however, we recovered a most unusual object. Should you have the time to spare, I would ask you another favour. In light of your role in recent events, there are a few others to whom I would entrust this task. Since we last spoke, a curious missive has been discovered amongst the personal effects of FFXIV, the pirate behind the plot to sabotage the Victory. This missive was penned in the most unusual script, a script we believe to be some manner of code. Needless to say, anything which a proven enemy of Limsa deems worthy of enciphering is like to be of great interest to the Maelstrom. Unfortunately, none among us can make any sense of the message. In cases such as this, I'm told the Yellow Jackets are wont to turn to Baderon and his convenient connections. Thus I would have you deliver this missive to the proprietor of the Drowning Wench, into his hand and no other, do you understand? Ahoy there! I've been hearing about your deeds at the dry docks. Artburn laid out the entire tale for me. Poor sod was reeling at his old man's part in the business, but at least she kept the Victory from being sunk before she sailed. and for that I owe you my thanks. You've really made a name for yourself here in Limsa, lass. Folk know when they need something doing. Eh? You need something doing? And what might that be? You want someone to read a message written funny letters for you, and Gimthota thought I might know a man as could. Well, let's see it then. Aye. I reckon I might know a canny bugger what can read stuff like this. Ugly sod by the name of Baderon. You know you're like one of me regulars now. You've never let me down yet, and Navigator helped me. I reckon I can trust you. Gimthota was right to want this message deciphered. We've got us some trouble brewing here, and no mistake. Get ready for action, and I'll explain. Good to have you aboard, lass. Now then, where to start? Back when I was younger and nastier, I earned me living as a sellsword. In that business, if you wanted to know what your enemy was up to, you had to learn to read the orders you prized from the cold dead hands of his mates. That's how I came to know how to read your message. Truth be told, the script was only too bloody familiar. Them Sahagins letters, lass, and I should know I've gutted more fishback messengers than I can count. It gets worse though. The plan to blow up the Victory is all here, right down to the fine details. Looks like they meant to raise 8 kinds of hell in western Lanosia, then hit the Maelstrom's new flagship in the confusion. The point being, the attack on the Victory weren't the act of a few rebellious pirates, 'twas a key part of some canny bastard's grand plan. But if I'm reading this alright, the attack itself came much too early. I'll wager they panicked when they saw you was onto them, rushed in to do the job and buggered it up. Them tattoo-faced bastard, as they say, was paying Artbum's old man. They were the Serpent Reavers, right? But none of the crew was there, was they? Did they have something better to do, or what? Seven L's, I've got it all backwards. That mess at the Victory, that was meant to be the bloody distraction. The fishbacks ain't interested in the Maelstrom's baby, they're after men, just like they've always have been. They're sending their pirate lackeys after a civilian target. This bit about raising hell in western Lanosia, that's where it'll be. Summit tells me Swift Perch is about to get it, and it hard. Here's a rough translation of the message. Take it to Commodore Raynor at the Coral Tower and tell him is in for a busy day. Oh, and give him an hand, will you? You can be damn sure he'll need one. Yes, I'm Raynor. Ah, you must be the adventurer whose name seems to be on everyone's lips. You are to be commended for your part in thwarting the plot to destroy the Victory. Now, what can I do for you this day? You bear an urgent message from Baderon. Why do I get the feeling that my hopes for a quiet afternoon are about to be cruelly dashed? Tell me, what is afoot? An assault on Swift Perch, but we've seen nothing to suggest the Serpent Reavers are amassing for an attack. Even so, it would be foolish to discount the possibility. Baderon is rarely wrong about such matters. I will marshal the Yellow Jackets for battle immediately. The only question is where to send them. While I concur with Baderon's assessment that the attack on the dry docks was intended as a diversion, Swift Perch is but one of several possible targets for the main thrust. Commodore, sir. Report. It's the Sahagin, sir. They've mounted a large-scale assault on South Tidegate and threatened to overwhelm our defences within the day. The garrison requests immediate reinforcements. By the Navigator, it seems my decision has been made for me. Muster the troops and give the orders to march. Aye, the Serpent Reavers are in league with the Sahagin, which means that there is every chance the assault on Tygate may prove to be another feint. The fact remains, however, that we can ill afford to ignore it, and that leaves Swiftperch vulnerable to those pirate traitors. It's as times such as these that I wish the warriors of light yet walked among us, but wishes will avail us naught. You must serve in their absence. Make for Swiftperch with all haste, and lend your strength to the squads I can spare for the settlement's defence. Commodore Rayner sent word we'd be getting reinforcements, but I didn't expect him to send you. You certainly look like you've seen your share of action, though. You bear little resemblance to the wide-eyed whelp I met fresh off the ferry. In any case, do you know what you're fighting for here? This place, Swiftperch, it was built by folk who stood strong in the face of every hardship the calamity threw their way. And we're not about to let some fish-fancying scum claim the honour of being the ones who finally broke their spirits. Don't give those pirate bastards one bloody ilm, you hear me? Here they come. Here now, I thought all them yellow jacket worms was meant to be busy. That useless scrag ain't followed the plan, has he? Now what, pull back and wait for our Sahagin brothers? Piss on that, we ain't turning back empty-handed. Remember, no killing the small folk, or it'll be your blood that stains Lord Leviathan's altars. The yellow bellies you can butcher at will. Them dirt-eating slugs will be crushed under the full might of the Serpent Reavers. Seems Swiftperch was the main target after all, eh? Squads 1 and 2 protect the townsfolk. Squad 3, you're out reared guard. The rest of you, we meet their charge where we stand. Let us bear the Commodore word of our victory, or no word at all. For Limsa Laminsa. I'll get all of you yellow bellies and dance on your gizzards. Well fought. The Reavers are beaten and scattered. I'll take some men and hunt down the stragglers. Oh, but there may be more of them lurking about, so don't let your guard down just yet. The source of her strength becomes clear. You may have bested the golem, but you will not fare so well this day. O mournful voice of creation, send unto me a creature of the abyss, my thrall to command, that I may smite mine enemies. Your very being imperils the plan. You cannot be suffered to live. That the wisdom of the paragons should be brought low by mere mortals. Paragons, did he say? Then it's as I feared. They are known as the Bringers of Chaos, or Ascians to give them their proper name. It would seem our suspicions were correct. It is they who have been manipulating the beast tribes. Pardon, you would know if we Sharlians have encountered Ascians before? I have never spoken to you of my homeland. How did you know whence I hail? Wait, I do begin to see. You've been blessed with a special gift. Are you alright, lass? If I'd known a mean bugger like that was hiding in the bushes, I would have left a squad or 6 to keep you company. Well, at least now we can call this kidnapping investigation to a close. Those reavers were the ones spiriting folk away in the dead of night, and this bastard here was pulling all the strings. A trifle simplistic, but not inaccurate. I came as soon as I sensed his presence, but I never thought to find such a scene of carnage, yet we prevailed, and thanks to your heroic actions, I have learned much. Aye, heroic is the word. I don't want to think about what would have happened if you hadn't have been here, friend. And your assistance is much appreciated too, Lady Y'shtola. Please give our regards to the Scions. I'm glad to have played a role in bringing what I hope is an end to this disturbing spate of abductions. The thread of your fate forms a part of a most intriguing tapestry. Mayhap we will be afforded the chance to speak more in the near future. For now, however, you must see this particular tale to its conclusion. Pray send my greetings to Commodore Rayner. Eagerly have I awaited your return. Word of your exploits is already spreading through the ranks. My troops and I owe you a great debt of gratitude for your timely assistance. You have shown yourself to be possessed of a sure arm, a strong spirit, and sound judgment. Would that Limsa Lominsa had more of your like. I have little doubts that you shall one day join the ranks of Eorzea's greatest adventurers. It is but a matter of time. Clearly Baderon's eye for potential remains as sharp as ever, though I doubt even he imagined you capable of such feats. Might you favour me with your own account of the day's events? Such victories bear retelling. Y'shtola has been working with us for quite some time, you see. And she was only too willing to assist the Yellow Jackets in the kidnapping investigation, proving herself a stalwart ally of Limsa Lominsa yet again. Needless to say, after your part in thwarting the attempted sabotage of the Victory, and the small matter of your deeds at Swiftperch, you too have proven yourself a valued friend of the Thalassocracy. Admiral. May I present to you Admiral Blofuswin?
So, this is the adventurer I've been reading about in the field reports. I am Melve Blufisvin, Admiral of Limsa Lominsa. On behalf of my people, I bid you thanks for the deeds you have done this day. A token of our gratitude. What worth is high regard without just reward, after all? Ha! Since you first set foot in our city, my good friend Baderon and Commodore Rayner have taken turns at regaling me with tales of your exploits. Safe to say, they left an impression. Join me at the coming banquet. A seat of honor at the celebratory feast is the least I can offer the woman who foiled the Sahagin.
Oh! A seat at the feast!
Oh, and don't be late. Your fellow guests will be eager to take the measure of their newest hero, and some do not take kindly to being kept waiting. Till then, May you walk in the light of the crystal.
I'm not sure you understand just how unusual it is for the Admiral to invite an adventurer to a state banquet. It's a highly coveted honour, why even the officers under her direct command are rarely afforded such recognition. But I will not deny that you have earned it. Many of the tasks you have performed in service to the thalassocracy have been both difficult and dangerous. This is a reward for all your efforts, a nod to your many achievements, both large and small. Has the enormity of this moment yet to sink in? Perchance you will realise its significance when you stand before the assembled dignitaries of Limsa Lominsa, and now that I've imagined the scene, I realise that you will require attire suitable for the occasion. I suggest you visit the wench and see what Baderon can arrange. He's surprisingly knowledgeable about such things.